Hey y'all, it's your girl Cecilia and welcome back to my channel. So today, it's a little late, I'm not gonna lie, because it's like halfway through January? Halfway? It's the 11th when I'm filming this, so yeah. But today I decided that we should probably talk about the books I read in December. I read 11 books in December, which is pretty damn good, but I'm just gonna go into basically the books. So the first book I read, which ended up on my worst books of 2018, I will link that video up above, but that is the Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban by J.K. Rowling. Originally I gave this a 3 stars, but I have knocked it down to 2 stars, so technically I have a 2 star rating. Yeah, I really didn't like this. I felt like this book was pointless. If you took this book out of the series, it wouldn't have mattered. I feel like it added nothing character development wise, plot development wise. I felt like it added nothing. This could have been like a short, like 50-page novella on ebook. The first 15 chapters, literally nothing happened. I was so bored. It was not good up until the Quidditch scene, which I love. J.K. Rowling's Quidditch scenes, I think they're really interesting. And then the end picked up a bit, but not enough. It was still really boring at the end. Again, just didn't add anything to it, so I gave this 2 stars. Alright, these next 2 books I listened to an audiobook, and I'm just going to group them together because they're part of the series. I read The Elite and The One by Kiera Cass. I gave these both 3 stars, and I thought they were okay. I've kind of realized that these, at least the Selection trilogy, definitely should have been a duology, just a longer duology, or just like longer trilogy. The Selection part of the Selection takes place over all 3 books. I felt like it should have taken place over 2 books, and the 3rd book should have been what happens after the Selection, but like directly after, and just kind of seeing how the kingdom gets rebuilt. I wasn't a huge fan of the ending for The One. It just, I don't know, it felt like nothing really happened throughout the whole book, and then just everything happened in like the last like 30 minutes of the audiobook, and I was like, the fuck? It felt very out of place. The Elite, I don't have a lot of things to say about it. It was also just kind of similar and drab to me, but it was just, they were okay books. I'm kind of decided I started reading NDNF, the novellas, and I was kind of like, I'm done with the series. I'm not going to read anymore. Heard the air was terrible, so I don't see a point in reading it, or the novellas, so we outie. Next book I read, well, it's a graphic novel. I read it on my Kindle, and it's Spectacle Volume 1 by, I don't remember who it's by, but I'll put the picture up here. I gave this 3 stars. I read this on the plane to Texas, and I thought it was alright. I do like some of the aspects. So basically what this graphic novel is about is that it's hard because this first volume really didn't give you a lot. It gave you the aspect of there's these 2 sisters and they're in a circus, and one is kind of like a fortune teller, but she actually does tell the future in the way by this machine that she has. And then her sister is, I believe, a knife thrower. Was it a knife thrower? I don't remember. I think it was a knife thrower. You notice that there is a huge difference in between them. They have very different personalities, and I guess I'm not going to spoil what happens towards the end of the volume, but like it felt lackluster to me. The writing style I thought was okay, and I didn't feel motivated. It felt okay to me. I wasn't really into it. The next audiobook I listened to was Etiquette and Espionage by Gail Gallagher. I gave this 3 stars as well. This was, okay, so if I had to explain it, there's a girl named, what's her name?
Why am I so freaking forgetful? Oh my god.
Honestly, I remember very little from this book. I just remember that there's a girl, I will put up her name because I cannot remember it to save the life of me. And she is just unruly in her household, and her mom is like, you know, I'm fucking tired of this. I'm sending you to a finishing school. But little does she know that her mom actually sends her to a finishing schools for, of course, etiquette and espionage. So it's a finishing school, but you also learn how to kill people, how to spy, and you basically get groomed to do this. And so the first book is just like this. I thought it was okay. I feel like it was rushed, the mystery that happened. I feel like low-key we just went from she's here to, oh, there's this mystery we have to solve, and I was like, well, what the fuck happened? Where was this beginning? I feel like there was no groundwork laid. I thought the characters were okay. The main character kind of pissed me off, but like that was fine. I kind of got over it, and everything just kind of felt like lackluster to me. The writing style was alright. Of course, I listened to an audiobook, so I was thinking about continuing on with the series, but I'm just not motivated to, so I'm just kind of done. Next, I read this graphic novel in one sitting in a Barnes & Noble because I didn't want to pay for it, because, yeah. And I read Check Please Volume 1, #hockey, or #hockey Volume 1 by Ngozi Okazu. I gave this 4 stars. I thought this was so cute. We follow this little cinnamon roll of a character, Biddy, and he basically joins this hockey team in his college, and it follows, I believe, the first 2 years of his college experience, and it was really interesting. I felt like towards the end there was some pacing issues. I felt like we got through his first year, took a good amount of time, and I liked how that did, but I felt like his second year was very rushed, and we missed several months at a time. So it was just like sometimes, like there was just a huge pacing issue, and I felt like the romance was just a little rushed as well. Like I enjoyed it, I'm not gonna lie, but it felt a little rushed. But I enjoyed like all the characters. I guess Biddy, I fucking love him. He loves to make pies, and he's basically just like a vlogger, and it's adorable. I do recommend this. I am going to probably continue reading this series online, but yeah, I recommend this book. All 5 of the mangas I read are all part of the same series, so I'm just going to talk about them all at once. It's Arisa Volume 8 through 12, and I love this graphic novel series. I'm going to go through the ratings of each one I gave. I gave Volume 8 5 stars, Volume 9 5 stars. I just realized I didn't put Volume 12 on here for some reason, so I did read 12 books this month. I don't know what I'm doing.
Honestly, I don't know what you're doing either. What was I smoking when I did this video?
I gave Volume 10 4 stars, Volume 11 5 stars, Volume 12 4 stars. And I'm going to tell you before Volume 8, between about Volume 5 to 7, it kind of slowed down a bit for me personally. But once I hit Volume 8, shit just kept going. It was on New Year's Eve, and I just binge read all 5 of these. And they were just so engaging, so thrilling. I do recommend that if you have triggers to, I guess, terrorist attacks, suicide attempts, depression, bullying, any of those things, if those things are triggering for you, probably don't read this manga series. Let me give you a synopsis of it. Basically, there are these 2 twins, Arisa and Tsubasa, and they have been separated since almost at the beginning of time. They have been separated because their parents are divorced, and so one lives with one parent, one was the other, and they haven't seen each other for about 3 years. So they go and meet each other after not seeing each other for 3 years, and they're hanging out, and Arisa actually jumps out of her building, tries to kill herself, but ends up in a coma. And Tsubasa is confused because Arisa would always send her letters, and there was no hint or indication of why she was sad, why she was depressed. And so Tsubasa was like, okay, I need to get to the bottom of this. And so Tsubasa basically goes undercover as Arisa at her high school, and shit goes weird from that. Shit hits the fan. It just kept escalating and escalating, and it was just so intense throughout these 5 volumes that I was just, it was crazy, I'm not gonna lie. But I do recommend this graphic novel series. I heard a rumor that it's going out of print, but you can find it online, and I was able to buy these 5 volumes at a anime convention in Austin, Texas, so they're available to buy if you want to. But yeah, that's it. I just realized I totally forgot an entire book. What is wrong with me today?
Good question.
I'm gonna backtrack because I totally forgot a book during this whole thing. I also listened to The Sum of All Kisses by Julia Quinn. This is a romance book with slight smut. There's like a little sex scene at the end. But I give this 4 stars. I thought it was engaging. I really liked the 2 main characters. So there are 2 main characters. There is Hugh, and at the beginning of the book, he actually ends up in a duel and ends up badly hurting his leg. It's hard for him to walk, and it took him a long rehabilitation process, so he has to use a cane everywhere he goes. And he's trying to basically put himself back into society life. Yeah, society life. He is very smart. He is always counting things, always thinking about things like that. That's why, you know, he's really good at math and stuff like that. And then there is the other girl, which I can't remember her damn name, but she really resents Hugh, and they finally meet because they have not met before during a wedding for some mutual friend's wedding, and love blooms. And I thought this was adorable. I really liked both characters and their like chemistry. I thought they were like a little snarky and sassy towards each other, which I enjoyed. This is my first romance that I've listened to. I've read romance, but the first one I've listened to, and I always enjoyed Julia Quinn. She does write pretty great historical romances, which are my cup of tea. But yeah, it was a pretty good one. I recommend this. Now that is finally all of the books I have read. Tell me if you've read any of these, or if you've had similar like thoughts and experiences as me during these. But yeah, that's really it for this video. I will see you guys in another video. Goodbye.